welcome.
Welcome, Mel.
So, Mel, tell us, what does it mean to be a witch?
I think to be a witch, is to be empowered. It is to have a voice for those that maybe don't have a voice, and even have a voice for ourselves. I think for me, in my journey, it's about finding myself and being really authentic to who I am. Even if it might seem a little bit strange to other people.
Yeah. So you have got connections, haven't you, to famous witches in the UK?
Yeah. So I believe, going back, I'm 11th generation granddaughter of Alice Nutter, who is one of the Pendle Witches, probably one of the most known Pendle Witches as well.
Wow.
So.
We've both done a wow there, haven't we? I've read
Yeah.
books on the Pendle Witches, and I mean, you know, most people not just the UK, all over, who know anything about witches, the Pendle Witches are infamous. You know, everybody knows, you know, the Pendle Witches.
They do, and obviously there's a lot of history around that. Some of it is, you know, folklore and fable. Some of it is a little bit more boring, a little bit more history related, in fact, rather than fiction. But yeah, my connection to Alice obviously is through my family. Yeah. The name Nutter actually runs through my family still to this day. So yeah, I feel very connected to her. And, you know, for me, I learnt about her as a child from my grandmother. Yeah. But I never really knew who she was or understood it, because I think it takes time to understand and learn your own journey and come to a place of acceptance as well, where, you know, maybe isn't something that 20 years ago, 25 years ago we would have spoken about, and yet today it's celebrated more than it ever has been.
Yeah, which it really is, isn't it? Really is celebrated. So were you a child witch?
So, I don't know if I was a witch. I was definitely something. My first experience of spirit was when I was 3. Wow. I tell this story often. If you ever see my mum, she will definitely confirm everything that I say. But yeah, I saw spirit at 3. And then by 12, I was doing tarot, was introduced to energy healing, or Reiki, as it's more commonly known. And then from there, it's just sort of grown, and over the years you kind of step more into yourself, you grow up, you find out who you are, and through that, for me, I think now I'm really starting to find my voice, and my journey over the last few years has been very accelerated by my love for what I do, but also for kind of accepting who I am, which I think, you know, I don't know, maybe am I a witch? Probably I am a witch, but I think it's stepping into that and not being afraid of it, and not being afraid of the judgment that comes with it still. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, let's talk about, you know, what kind of myths do we have around kind of witches?
Yeah, you know, I was just about to say that.
Well, yeah, the same things. I mean, what do we conjure up when we think about?
Well, people think broomsticks, mixing the cauldron with eye of toad, or I don't know,
potions. Sometimes people always gravitate towards kind of the darker side of things as well, don't they? It's natural because it's drama and it's what human beings like and it's how it works. But that's not the case, is it?
It's really not. No. And I think, you know, we think of the Green Witch with the big nose and the broomstick and the hat, and that's where a lot of us stop. That's kind of, you know, our Halloween outfits as a kid was always a witch with a bin bag and a hat. Yeah, because it was scary, it was spooky. But really, witchcraft it's about manifestation, it's about empowerment, it's about having a voice. And I think when we look at movies, cinema, even in history, you know, the Pendle Witches and how they were persecuted through a lot of different things, but at the time the printing press had just come into action in the late 15th century, 16th century, and the Maleficum Macarum, which is a German text that roughly translates to Hammer of the Witches, was all about women's sexuality and how that was actually used as basically if you woke up and you were a woman, you were a witch. And it's so bizarre that even just being a functioning human being and being a female would have you classed as a witch.
You know, I can understand that actually, because the word that's popped into my head is beguiling. You know, if you're a man, and let's face it, and this is, I'm not saying anything, you know, to the camera now about men, or please don't think, I'm just as a woman. Yeah. I think a lot of women's power can be in their sexuality when it comes to men. You know, sometimes men lose themselves in the act of sex and sexuality, and I think so. For women to use their bodies. Yeah. And so if you're a man way back then to lose yourself means that you're losing your power. And 100%. So you must be beguiling them. You must be putting a spell on them to make them so, you can see that. Or am I just making that up? Am I making that up?
I don't think you're making it up.
I mean, it was saying
the actual text itself was written by a celibate monk. So I mean, that gives us anything to go off. I mean, that is, women are evil. Women are using their sexuality to get what they want. Yes. They're using their sexuality to manipulate men. And there's a very famous picture within that book, which is a woman riding a goat, and the goat is backwards and she's going forward with her hair flowing. That way. The goat is facing the other way and she's riding a broomstick, and everything about it is phallic, because they're going on about how women are using that to get what they want and make change. And, when I relate that back to my grandmother, following the Maleficarum, demonology was written by James VI of Scotland. He became James I of England. And he was very much obsessed with witches, but he actually removed the fact that it was a woman. And he just focused on the acts of being a witch. Which many of them fell on women's duties within the home, working with herbs, working with the earth. And those are all the things, of course, lotions and potions, and obviously people of lower stature with less income and things would work that way. And it was a way of kind of controlling people in what was a very Catholic country that had gone to Protestant following Victoria, and then obviously moving into kind of this new age of where the Catholics were kind of seen as witches. If you anything about Catholicism, was actually seen as witchcraft. And we don't often talk about it.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Because
That's really
they wanted the church to be in control. Obviously when Henry VIII obviously wanted to get divorced, he changed the church, didn't he, to what we know now as Church of England. But anything that was outside of that was seen as very much against the church, against the monarchy. And that control ran through the whole of the UK, but up north it was a little bit different, and it was almost kind of like this dark corner where the misfits went to. Anyone who didn't want to conform were kind of out the way, and were living very simple lives. It's just very, very interesting to me that, when we look at the Pendle Witches in relationship to that, I mean, often people forget there were men hung through the Pendle Witch trials. It wasn't just women. It was anyone that was doing something different. And actually for me, from my ancestor, her story actually, I think she's quite famous because she's seen as the innocent one. Because she was 60, or in her 60s. She was a woman of certain stature. She got money. And like everybody else at the witch trial, she had something about her. She had that kind of stature within society. And through land disputes that she had, that she won by going over the local magistrate's head, he then kind of pursued her and kind of put her within the Pendle Witches, and it became this thing where they were talking about these people begging, and this is how it all started. And, you think to yourself, well, she wouldn't have maybe even known those people, yet she's probably the most famous of the Pendle Witches, a name that everyone recognises. Yet for her story is very different.
Wow.
But it was because she was a woman, because she stood up for her rights, and because in the 15th century, imagine the woman in the 15th century walking into a room full of men and going, "You're on my land, I want it back. Stop moving my borders, stop taking what I've built."
Absolutely.
And winning that.
It's
just for me, her voice would have been so strong in that time, and for standing up for what she believed in a time when women were seen and demonised and kind of put in a certain place within society. For me, now finding my own voice is interesting.
You've just taken that completely out of my mouth then. I was just thinking then, she's talking through you now. You are the...
She is, definitely.
She's very strong because I met up with you.
We did, yes.
And you started talking about her, and I was like, oh my God, I can really feel her energy. She's very strong and packs a punch, her energy. So,
well,
very strong lady.
Something packs a punch, because we do a prayer at the beginning of every week, and we, ask for support from our ancestors and our guides. And I say it every week, and it's beautiful and lovely. And today, my hairs went up on the back of my neck, my back, my arms. Something is with us today, guys. I'm telling you, someone is with us without a doubt.
We should have put another microphone.
I feel like there's like a space. We should have had a little space here for her. Maybe she would have come through and said something. But
if she was to speak now, what do you think she would be saying?
I think she would be very proud of where we've come from and where we are. And I think, for her standing up for her rights and really for all women in a way, because whether it's today, tomorrow, or in the future, right now, women are still oppressed.
Yes.
We're still often kept quiet. We're often not allowed to speak out, even within the communities that we grow in. We're not always allowed to have a voice. And that's been my experience.
Yeah.
And I think now as we kind of move forward, and even in, like, for me, I guess my personal journey is that I found my voice and people didn't like it. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to close myself back off, shut myself back down. I'm just going to sit in my seat and be quiet. And then at some point you go, I cannot do this any longer. Like, there is something within me that I need to say something.
Yes.
And you don't always get the best response. Let's be honest, you don't.
No,
you don't always get the best response. And you're going to lose people on your journey, and people are going to go, do you know what, it's too much for me. Or actually that's something that I was interested in that you've also got your foot in the door with, and I don't quite like it. But everyone's journey is so personal. And you obviously, I know Carrie a little bit, obviously Paula, but, I'm a teacher. I like to share my knowledge and my wisdom. And for me, that's really important. And I think, as women, we should share, we should lift each other up. That is what it should be about. And through the work that I do, giving other people a platform to share what they know and grow together.
Yes.
And help people understand that they too can have a voice is just so important.
It's so important, and that's what this is all about, actually. It's giving people their voice.
Do you think there's a witch within everybody?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We've all got a voice.
So our listeners listening to this,
yes.
do you think, well, I'm not a witch, or that witch within us, how can we connect with that more?
I think when we talk about witches, we think about ritual. Yeah. And we all have rituals, whether it's waking up, making that cup of coffee, taking that first big sigh of the day, whether it's going outside and putting our feet on the grass. We all have these little things that we do that just don't even think about them. And the things that we do that we don't think about are often rituals. And they're so personal.
They are personal, aren't they? I love rituals. I love rituals.
She does.
And I love ceremony. Yeah, I love it. It takes me, that's when I really connect with my ancestors. I can feel, the I don't know, the preciousness, the sacredness of ceremony. I love it.
And ceremony is something to be celebrated as well.
Yes.
I think often people shy away from ceremony and putting themselves in that situation, whether they're conducting a ceremony where you're sitting and taking part. Yeah. It's so powerful. And I think, for me, I've done festivals and things, and you kind of go to other people's ceremonies, like cacao, or you go to meditation, and it's always that ceremonial part at the beginning is what brings us together. It's what roots us and grounds us as a community. Yeah. And I think that's missing from today. I think that's something we need to bring back massively. Yeah. But that witch within us, if you've ever wished upon a star, you thought to yourself, oh, I wish I could do something, or you've prayed and you wanted something to come in, that's all manifestation, no matter what you call it. We can call it quantum physics, we can call it manifestation, we can call it prayer, but ultimately it's having that belief in something bigger than yourself, and knowing that you have that power within you. That for me really sums up being a witch. It's just believing in yourself and that anything is possible.
It is, isn't it? And I suppose, the calling or believing that you're a witch is when you, as you say, step into that power, and it's whether you're a witch or a wizard or whatever you want to call yourselves. And I actually think that has a lot to do with the oppression that human beings or humanity has suffered, because we are incredibly powerful. Yes. And our ancestors knew that, way back. They knew that. And for whatever reasons, and that's a completely different podcast, isn't it?
It is a very different podcast. Yeah, we can go into that, but it's going to be a probably 2-hour one.
Yeah, exactly. It's been suppressed. Because we're powerful, because we are connected to nature, because Mother Earth provides everything we need to heal. We have the capacity, as you say, to understand and work with energy in order to create and manifest whatever we want in our lives.
Well, you can create your own reality.
Exactly.
And I'm a great example of that, of someone that sat somewhere 2.5 years ago and went, I want to do what that person is doing on stage. And they were, again, with my mum, funnily enough. Yeah. And I want to be able to do that. And I knew I already had the gift and the ability, but it was a different level. Yeah. And I now see myself doing those things and being in those situations and finding myself in places like today that I never dreamt I would be. But it's amazing that, I will be honest, I did speak to someone else about this the other day, but like probably January, I said, I'm going to be on a podcast. I feel like I've manifested this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We love that.
I manifested being on the
manifested,
podcast. Yeah,
we do.
Yes, I manifested you into my life. But you have to believe in the impossible, because the impossible is very much a reality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's only when you step into your own power and you actually accept how powerful you are, accept who you are and the gifts that you have, that it will then become a reality for you. Because without that acceptance, it's very hard to move forward.
So how do we manifest? What is manifestation?
Manifestation is, for me, is knowing and believing in yourself, but also putting it out there to the universe. And I would talk a lot about, we hear, write something down on a piece of paper, write down what you want, burn it, give it back to Mother Earth, or, pop it in the lake. And these words, these things that we're writing down are going to go out to the universe. But for me, the most powerful has always been my words. Because when you say something out into the universe, you cannot take it back. You write it on a piece of paper, we write something down in a book, it gets lost, it gets forgotten, we move on with our lives. But when you speak those words out to the universe, it is so powerful because you can't take them back.
No.
I always say be very careful what you manifest, but I also say be as delusional as you like, because if you're aiming for the moon and you land amongst the stars, it's still an amazing place to be, right? We can't really deny that.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's, you can, most bizarre things you can manifest, and I've seen people do it. And it's just about having that belief, but knowing that when you manifest it, it's why you've got to put in the work. A lot of people will do it and then do nothing about it and just think it's going to come to them. You still have to do the work, but just know that the tools that you need will be shown to you.
So what is the work?
Oh, the work is such a big word. For me, it is the steps that you need to take in order to get to where you need to be. So if you're someone now that's sat on your couch, sat on your sofa, listening to this podcast, and you're going, do you know what, guys, I really want to be where they are tomorrow. What does that look like? You need to imagine yourself being sat where I'm sat right now, because it's possible, right? Yeah. Sit in my seat, be me, and think, I really want to be doing what they're doing. And imagine yourself already being in that space, and imagining not just what it looks like, but what it feels like, the experiences that you're having as you're living this version of your life. And once you start to feel it and sense it and see it, all of a sudden these cogs start turning inside us, and all of a sudden it becomes our reality. And it very quickly unravels, very, very quickly. And the more you get on board with it, the quicker it happens. 100%.
Yeah, it does. I read once something that I really loved, and it was that every single word is a spell.
Yes.
Every single word. And I've not forgotten that. And sometimes it always happens to me when I'm drying my hair for some bizarre reason. It must be my contemplative time. I'll think about all the spells that I've put out that aren't great. as in, the negative self-talk we have, that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. And we're all guilty of it.
We are.
And it's,
Words are power.
It is, isn't it?
And I think we're taught as children, don't say something mean or nasty. You can't say it. If you don't say something nice, don't say anything at all, because the words are impactful on other people, but they're also impactful on ourselves. And I think that's what we don't learn as children, is that we're talking about other people and how we impact them, but we never talk about how our self-talk impacts us.
Yeah.
And part of, your journey and finding your voice and being a witch is finding that inner fire and kind of going, do you know what? Like, I'm not going to speak to myself badly. I'm going to embrace who I am, the good, bad, the indifferent, because we all have different sides to us. Yeah. And to every single person we meet, we're someone different. And I think it's so important to know that, is that no one's going to get the version of you that's inside you. Every single person you meet has a different version of you, because they need something different from you.
Do you know, I love that. And did you send me a meme or something about that? Was it you that sent that to me? That I
can't remember.
I saw something a while ago, and that it was, how do you know who you are? Because actually, everybody sees you in a different light.
Oh, actually, that was
it. Was you? Yeah, I knew. I remember. Exactly. Yeah. So we're all these different versions, aren't
100%.
we? And we can present ourselves to a whole room of people, and everyone will have a different perspective on who you are.
Yeah, they do. But I think
on their perspective of life.
Oh, 100%. But the most important thing is that when you walk away from that person, A, B or C, is that you walk away knowing that you've been authentically yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that you've been a true version, representation of who you are.
Yeah.
Because that's often what we don't do. We often mould ourselves when we're trying to fit in, when we're trying to find out what we mould ourselves to fit into social groups, for work. And we maybe dim our light a little bit, or we don't speak as much, we don't speak up because we're wanting to fit in.
Yeah.
And I think when you find yourself and you start to be this authentic version of yourself and you start speaking out and being, this is me, and no matter who you are, you're all going to get the same, from my perspective, the same version of me, regardless of how other people feel. When you can walk away from a conversation, good or bad, and go, that was just me. There is no, I wasn't trying to be something I'm not, and they've given all of me in that situation that I needed to. I think that's really empowering.
It is empowering, isn't it?
It's a hard place to get to, but everyone has the ability to get there.
Yeah.
We just all have to do it in our own way.
What's your view when someone says, I'm a white witch?
That's a good question. I like that, Kerry.
Do you know what? I say, what does it mean to you? Because I think white witch is such an interesting conversation. Because I've had people say, it means that I only do things that are good. I only work from the light. I've had people say to me, oh, I'm a white witch. And actually, they don't know what it means. Yeah. For me, I kind of, when I've had those conversations, I said, look, don't label yourself. Don't put yourself in a box, because you never know what other people are going to think of you.
Yeah.
White witch is just so funny. Sorry.
I had to ask.
Yeah. It's such, it's a difficult one, because I think the connotation is that it's all good with white witch. From a white witch, but to work in the light, you have to have experienced the dark.
Yes.
This is a conversation I've had so much recently with people, is that, I work with people that are like, I love the light, I'm in the light all the time. But if you haven't dealt with the dark side of life, and when I talk about dark side of life, I don't mean like, trauma. We've all been through it. We've all got things in our past that we don't want to talk about, the things that are hard, the things about ourselves maybe that we don't like, and doing that work, because it's the hard stuff. It's the sitting in your room, trying to work out what's inside your brain, how does it work, those things you've been through, how has that impacted you as you've grown up, and how have you dealt with those things? And for some people that's too much, and I understand. Yeah. But to understand yourself on a fundamental level where you've been able to deal with those things, you're then able to work in the light, because you have to understand both sides. I think a lot of people are very quick to go love and light, and not understand that the context of that is beautiful. And I love the light, but I cannot work in the light if I haven't been in the dark, because I don't know what the light looks like. And I always it's probably a bit deep, but I always put it down to kind of simplified as, in life we ebb and we flow, right? And it's really rubbish that we have to experience bad things in life. But we didn't experience them, we wouldn't know what the good looks like.
Exactly.
We wouldn't know what the good looks like. So you have to go through those really rubbish times and get through them to find yourselves and experience and be able to appreciate the really good times, because you wouldn't know what it felt like.
No, exactly. And, we ask so many people, what does spirituality mean, to you? And for me, and I am going to ask that question, and I think you've just been, talking about that, but what you just said really resonated with me, because I believe it is about being able to embrace the dark as your lessons and as your growth. And when, instead of, because all of us at some point have been in that dark place and we're the victim, and oh my God, life is terrible and life is horrible, and we just wallow in our own shit.
Oh, 100%.
We wallow in it. But when you can see something for what it is, okay, what is this? What's it teaching me? What's it telling me? Yeah. That's my spirituality, because I can then move, because our emotions are transient, I can move back into the light, but stronger,
100%.
more knowledgeable of who I am and my role in this lifetime and the experiences that I'm here to experience. So I'm going to ask you, and just to be advocate, I've asked her a million times, and I know, because I speak to her every day.
Yes.
But what's your spirituality as well? So, what is it? What does it mean to you to be spiritual?
To be spiritual is just to have an understanding there is something bigger than myself.
Yes.
Whether that is something up in the sky, God, source, energy, creation, whatever you want to call it, I understand there's something bigger than me, and that I'm here for a purpose. And, over the last few years, I've worked more heavily with the seasons and starting to understand more about okay, we live in this world that kind of pushes us through a certain curriculum through school, and we learn about certain things, but it's to be forever learning. For me, spirituality is forever learning, because we never really truly understand where we are or why we're here. And for me, it's just, my spirituality is very much learning.
Yeah.
Learning and growing and just trying to help other people on their journey.
Yeah.
But just understanding that fundamentally, I'm like a little speck of energy on a rock in the middle of the cosmos. How did this happen? And just kind of allowing myself to go, okay, well, what if?
Yeah, I think it helps having that spirituality, because you've either got the mindset of my life is absolutely crap. Why does this keep happening to me? But when you step into expanding your mind, you're able to then step out and go, look at things in a different perspective, because you've got that spirituality of looking at things differently, and why is this happening to me, and how can I change that, would you say?
Yeah, exactly. I think as well, isn't it? It's I mean, this month has been very difficult for people. Yeah. We were talking about that before we started, weren't we?
September was a tough month.
And we've been on the phone every day, with our friends and our community, the same as you have, I'm sure, going, oh my God, what's happening?
Going on, yeah.
But I can honestly say that at the end of this month, I know what some of my really big patterns are that I've been playing out for a whole lifetime. And it's come up, this, and that's what happens with that, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're aware, you can start going, okay, so instead of why is this happening to me, it's okay, I'm creating this over and over and over again. I'm stuck in this loop. So what do I need to do to step off of that wheel?
Yeah, it's about breaking those cycles. And I think it's quite interesting that September seems to have been the big month, because September for a lot of people is the middle of the year. If we're talking about paganism, people that follow Wheel of the Year, and kind of September is always a month that crops up for people that seems to be really uneasy. And as we reflect back on the last kind of 6 months, so going back to kind of spring, you kind of go, God, what's happened? And, the light starts dimming, it gets a bit darker, everyone goes a little bit more introvert, and we start to look at those patterns that we've had, and maybe look at those things that we have or haven't done for the last 6 months. Go, God, it's almost December, almost Christmas, and people panic. Yeah. I think it is panic for a lot of people of, oh my God, it's going to be another year soon, and I haven't achieved all of these things. But if you work with Wheel of the Year, you work with the seasons, you still got till March, you're fine.
Yeah.
You've got another 6 months.
Everything's good.
Yeah, you've got everything is good. And I think in general, though, breaking those cycles is important. And I always say karma is a cycle to be broken. You don't want to be stuck in karma. No. Someone said the other day, they should get their karma, and they went, do not wish that on anybody, because karma is a cycle and it comes back to you.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Karma is very powerful, and we want to break that karmic cycle. We want to break those patterns. So if you're feeling out there that, someone's maybe putting things on you that aren't meant for you, or being negative, or sending things your way that you don't need, just send it back with love and light to their feet. Yeah. It's so powerful to send it back, because you're not accepting it, you're not taking it on.
Why their feet?
Their feet. I don't really know, if I'm honest.
I was just about to say that as well. Why the feet?
I think it's to do with when you receive a gift, traditionally a parcel or a gift would be put at your feet. And you bend down to pick up a parcel. So that's how I've always seen it. Whether that is 100% true, I don't know.
It's just an intuitive thing that
I was taught it many years ago. Someone said it, and it's just stuck with me. And then since then, it's been brought back up in my life a few months ago. And it's quite interesting. So, if you look at, candle magic, back on magic, back on witches.
Yeah.
But if you burn a black candle, what you're doing, you burn it on a Sunday. And what you're doing is any negative that's come to you, anyone that sent you any ill will, you burn the candle and you just say to them, I send it back with love and light to your feet. Anything you're sending me that I don't want to accept it. It's not meant for me. It's your own hurt. And I'm sending that back to you.
I love that.
Yeah. Because, a lot of the time people put their issues, their problems, their hurt on us. Yeah. And we're maybe not the ones that have done it, but they think maybe we can cope with it or we deserve it. But actually, it's their own emotions, it's their own feelings that have got them in that space. It's nothing to do with us.
It's not, is it?
A lot of the time, it's to do
self-projection.
Yeah, 100%.
Projection. Do you get anybody come to you and go, oh, could you do a spell for me?
I have. I did run candle magic classes this year.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Spells, I find it interesting because what you class as a spell, some people like want you to get over a cauldron and kind of, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Maybe I should start after this podcast. I'm going to like get a cauldron. It's Halloween right soon.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're in October. It's coming. But spells are interesting because what is a spell? A spell is manifestation, and I do help people manifest.
Yeah.
But often when people come with a spell, because of the connotation that we have with witches, it's often rooted of someone's done this to me, can you put a spell on them? No. The answer is no. What do you want me to do? Make them lose a leg? Like, no. It's about, if someone wants a spell, there's usually her hurt behind it. And that's the root of what I try and help people understand through either Reiki or energy healing or through readings, is understanding that hurt and where that comes from. And sometimes it's personal to them that actually, like I say, it's that projection they're projecting onto somebody else. Other times it may be warranted that someone has done something that's negative to somebody else. But then how do we ourselves deal with that, and how do we take that power back, and how do we go, okay, you might have hurt me, but that's just made me stronger and I'm going to move forward. So I don't do spells, but I help people understand why they think spells. And spells are very, candle magic is spells, spell work, and that is very powerful, but it's all to do with manifestation.
I've never done the candle magic before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to have just a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
now, if we can.
God. Okay.
Yeah. So what can we do? Let's take some real common things that everybody feels on different days. So get your pens and papers, guys, because this is going to be good. So let's throw out some different things. Things that we get. So grief. Yeah. So bearing in mind that that our words are spells and our words are magic, because we think we have to say the right spell or the right, but it's not the case, is it?
It's all about intention.
What colour, if you're suffering from grief or loss, or what colour candle can you use, and how can you use?
The colour of the candle, a lot of people kind of go, use a white one for kind of grief because it's about peace and finding that calm, and the white candle is about pure love and energy. But you can use any candle. Yeah. I just wouldn't make it a huge one because you'll be sat there for hours. But you can use any colour candle. But traditionally, I would use white. I've also used red for certain types of grief.
Yeah. Don't worry, that's me. I do that.
So for me, red or white. Generally, I would use white because it's healing. Because when we're dealing with grief, it's about healing. And I always say grief is, I'm going to say this now, and I know people don't agree with it, but I think grief is really selfish. And that's a really interesting way of putting things, because it's all about our emotions, right? The person that's passed is out of pain potentially, has moved on to another realm, whatever your belief system is. But grief is about our hurt and our pain. It's about connecting with ourselves and what that feels like for us. It's not necessarily about the person, it's how we're dealing with that loss. And I think a lot of time we miss that. I remember someone saying that to me and I thought, wow. It rings so true, because when we're dealing with grief, and we'll have clients that have lost people, we ourselves have lost people, and often we can lose ourselves in grief. I've done it. Totally destroyed me, and it was awful. But I think when you start to realise it's my feelings, it has nothing to do with the person that's passed. Really, exactly. It's how I'm choosing to deal with it.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes it very personal. And when you say it as very selfish, everyone goes, "Oh," but I said, just listen and hear me out. Because it makes sense that it's to do with ourselves and our perception and our connection to that person rather than them and what they've been through. I feel like I'm talking very softly now. Grief is interesting, and healing from that, it can be difficult, but if we were to do and work with magic on that, it would be more to do with like white candles. And I think, when people have lost grief, it ignites our nervous system, right? So we want to do healing. So I'd often do that with also like a healing session, because it calms our nervous system energetically, and that's what we need to calm to be able to be rational. So
that's interesting. And what about a green candle? What would we use a green candle for? It's just come into my
a green candle. What's made you think about a green candle?
I don't know. It's just I can really see a green candle.
Okay.
I've got blue and purple.
Blue, there we go. Let's do green, blue and purple.
So obviously when you're working with the candles, we're also talking about the chakras.
Yes.
So the green candle would be
heart.
So matters of the heart, often with a green candle. You'd like to think it's money, but money is yellow. But green is very much to do with matters of the heart. Also fertility. and working with the earth. So anything to do with that, beautiful. You know, anything that if we're healing our heart, often with green candle will come into that. And again, we use like crystals, like clear quartz, just to amplify that as well, and just give it that extra power.
Yeah. And
I can feel a workshop coming on.
Well, I've already thought that. I've already thought, I'm going to have a chat with Mel at the end of this.
Definitely, I'm open to all ideas.
Yeah, I love it. So what would we do at home then? Just, you know, if we wanted to do a little kind of some candle magic at home, what's the best advice you can give?
Best advice I can give is it's all about intention. You don't need to go... I mean, of course, go to your local shop, support your local businesses and buy from your witchy friends. Amazing. But it hasn't got to be a big ceremony. It hasn't got to be complicated. Everything we do with intention.
Yeah.
So whether it's a green candle, a white candle, a blue, purple candle, if you're wanting something to come into your life or you're wanting to heal from something, it's about the intentions that we set. So it's about clearing a space, doing the energy work to make sure it's clear and safe and that we're in a space where we don't get disturbed.
Yeah.
I mean, we can cast circles if you're that way inclined. You know, it's just about clearing out your energy and bringing in that protection from above or below, however you're working. And then really just sitting there and before you're lighting that candle, being very clear on what it is you intend. Because that intention that's what makes the change. You make the change, not anybody else. And burning the candle is a beautiful symbolic way of going, once that candle's lit, that flame doesn't go out until that candle's gone. And much like the words we speak, you can't bring it back.
No, exactly.
And when we put it back to the earth, we go bury the candle in the garden or, you know, dispose of how you wish. You can't take it back, right? Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
We said those words, we set that intention, whether we said it out loud or in our head. It's about bringing that up and really putting the emphasis on what we want.
I love that.
Candles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mel, you do some really fantastic work for your community. Would you you do. You do so many things for people and also for people
that's lovely.
For people that struggle with money to perhaps access certain things, and you create beautiful experiences for people. Would you like
I try,
You do. Do you want to share with people what you do and what you have going on?
So I do a variety of different things. The community aspect of it is something called Soul Collective, which runs every month. It's donation based. We have 4 events per year, which are £10 per person. And it includes guest speakers. It includes me doing meditations with people. We do craft workshops based around, I think the last one we did a beautiful meditation to shamanic music. And we painted what we saw and kind of really got our creative energy flowing, which was beautiful. But for me, what it is about, it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter how spiritual you are. You could be the most amazing Reiki master, or you could just be someone who just interested. And you can come and experience what we have as a community. And I started off with like 2 people, and now we've got over 60 people in and out. And don't get me wrong, not everyone's there every month, thankfully, because the building isn't big enough. We are looking at new venues, but it's a space where you can come and have a cup of tea. We provide tea, coffee, something to eat. And when I first started it, I did have members of my community that were struggling to maybe didn't have a meal, maybe didn't have something to drink. And it was about taking that time and me giving back.
I love that.
And providing that space with a spiritual element to it, just to bring people together. And I think we're in our 2nd year now, and it's just, it's growing, it's amazing. But I do psychic nights. I'm a psychic medium. I'm an energy healer. I work with Palladian, celestial energy, which probably is a different conversation to have.
I love that.
So I do a lot of different things, but ultimately it is based around community. And, you know, I sat circle myself for 8 years, and some of those experiences were great, but I wanted to create something a little bit different that felt more authentically me. And I think as I found my voice, I thought, you know what, I need to go out there and do it. I've had that calling. I think we all get that at some point where it's like, it's bigger than me.
Yes.
It's so much bigger than me. It's, you know, and my fantastic clients that come and the guys that come to Circle, I always say, it's about you. It's about you. It's not about me. I just sit here and I talk. But ultimately, you know, last month we had one of our members do a fantastic talk on herbs and how like native herbs as well. So, and how we can use them in food and drink and healing. So everyone there's got their own aspect of what they're doing and their own spiritual drive. And I think it's important that they get a platform. And giving other people a platform is something that, you know, is very important to me, because I didn't have that where I was before.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that is important, isn't it? It's that there's no hierarchy. We're all the same. We've all got our gift. Everyone's got a gift to bring.
Oh, yeah. You know what I always say, because I teach, I go, what I do isn't special. I am not special, guys. I am just like you. It's just that I'm just a little bit more open maybe than you are right now. And in time, you too will become as open as me, and you'll find your own gifts and find your own way through your own journey.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Awesome.
That's incredible.
So, you can't drop Palladians down in front of me.
I am that person,
and me not ask about it, I'm afraid. And Craig's just come to say we're coming to the end of time, but you know what? Let's just delve into that just for a little while, because it's so exciting.
Yeah. So Palladians are interdimensional beings, what most people would call aliens. Yeah. I know, it's a little bit strange. But for me, I had an experience 5 years ago that kind of opened my world up completely to... Do you know what? There is definitely more to this than just me.
Yes.
There's a lot more going on out there that I don't know. And yeah, I work with their energy within my healing sessions. They're also part of my spirit team and my guides. Like you said, I've got a bit of a tribe behind me. And they definitely, their energy comes in very strong. But they are from the Palladian star system, which, funnily enough, as a kid, I was always connected to.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you channel them? Or
I don't. They just appear, to be honest.
Really?
Whenever I need them, they're there. I mean, if I have a healing session, if you speak to any of my clients that have done the Palladian celestial healing, they'll go, "There's more than just you in the room," and I'm like,
"Really? Yeah."
I promised you that it's just physically me, but yes, energetically, I invite these guides in to work with me to provide a deeper level of healing, which I feel is, for some people, really desperately needed. And for other people, you know, it's an experience that they need to have, because maybe they have a connection themselves if they're drawn to come and have that sort of healing from me. But they do only get to kind of experience them when you're ready.
Yes.
So people kind of try and chase kind of this and kind of, I need to see, I want to see. And they come to you. You don't get to choose, guys.
No.
It is 100% when it is your time. But yeah, I mean, my experiences have been positive. So I'm very thankful.
Yeah. So just to finish it off.
Yeah.
What is your advice? What are your wise words to humanity, to everyone, you know, based on your life, your experiences, your journey?
My words to anybody that feels like maybe they're a little bit different, maybe they feel a little disconnected from the world, and maybe things haven't always been easy, is that you have a voice, and your voice is important. You're here for a reason, and you're here to be heard. And even if many times you've been pushed down and told to be quiet or just generally ignored, guess what? There's only so many times someone can tell you no before someone says yes. And when you get that first gate open or that door open, or that first opportunity, it will change your life. But you have to really trust in the universe, trust in yourself, and know that whatever it is you want is possible. You just have to speak up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Wow. You're welcome. Thank you so much, guys. Loved
it's
talking to you. I really have. You must come back. We've got 100%. So much to discuss.
Yes.
It's fabulous.
I'm going to get rid of me now, that's it.
No, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, guys. It's been fantastic.
It has been wonderful.